Despite being in the running scene for a decent amount of time now, Under Armour is not a brand that typically gets talked about when it comes to top shoes of the year. But in 2025, they've invested a lot of time and effort into releasing some pretty solid trainers. And today we're going to discuss one of them. Meet the Underarmour Infinite Pro 2. What's up everybody, I'm Eric McIntyre, aka Rad Dad Bod, and you're watching Rad Dad Bod TV, where we review running shoes. Now today, like I said, we're reviewing the Underarmour Infinite Pro 2, and if it's your first time watching one of my videos, you may notice some timestamps below in the description. Feel free to jump around to the various parts of this review, but if you do so, I would sure appreciate if you come back and like the video when you get a second. And if you've been a viewer for a while, but you haven't yet hit that subscribe button for whatever reason, please consider doing so today and turning on notifications so you get notified every time I drop a new video, which is typically Monday through Friday. Now before we get into the details of the review, some quick disclaimers and disclosures are that I was provided this shoe for free for the purpose of review directly from Under Armour. That being said, on any of my reviews, I'm not paid. I don't receive talk tracks or talking points. No one watches the videos beforehand. In fact, all thoughts are entirely my own. Now with that out of the way, let's talk about the intended use of this shoe. Now the Infinite Pro is going to be kind of your standard daily trainer when it comes to Under Armour running shoes. There actually are a few other daily training options, but the Infinite line is kind of their like performance line when it comes to running. And I do think this one fits more in the standard daily training category than like the Max Cushion or the lightweight daily trainer category, based off of a couple of things that we'll discuss in the review today. As such, that's how we're going to be evaluating the shoe as well. Now from a price standpoint, the shoe comes in at a very affordable $130, which even for a standard daily trainer is really good. Like usually standard daily trainers are coming in at least in the 140, sometimes up to the 160 range. So 130 is on the lower end and maybe one of, if not the lowest kind of standard trainer on the market. Now from a fit perspective, I think the shoe fits fairly true to size, fairly standard overall as well. So lengthwise, I'm normally a 10.5. This is a 10.5, and I would not size up or down. And widthwise, I mean, I would say it's pretty much on the standard overall kind of fit for running shoes. So you're gonna get some decent room in the shoe as a whole. Like if I had to say, does it lean more wide or more narrow? Maybe a little bit more wide foot friendly, but I still think narrow footed runners are gonna be totally fine in this shoe as well. Now from a specs perspective, the shoe comes in at 10.8 ounces, which is 306 grams. So it's not a light shoe by any means, but it's not like a crazy heavy shoe. It's gonna be lighter than most Max Cushion options out there. And again, speaking of stack, the stack is 32 in the heel, 24 in the forefoot for an 8mm heel to toe drop. So it is actually, by today's standards, a lot like lower stack overall than a lot of shoes out there. So you are going to be getting a lower profile, but it's not like a low profile look by any means. In fact, when I looked at the specs, I was really surprised by it because it feels like it has more underfoot, and we'll talk about that here in a second. Now moving to the upper, the shoe has a lightweight engineered mesh, and the upper is fairly structured overall. So you have some really decent cushioning there in kind of that heel counter, and then you get that flare as well. And I feel like the cushioning there in that heel keeps your heel locked in place really nicely. But it does feel a little bit more overly structured to me than I think the shoe necessarily needs. The heel cup paired with kind of the tongue, which is, I would say, a mid to heavyweight tongue, which is either, I don't know if you would consider this fully gusseted, but it is stitched in either way, so the tongue's not going anywhere. It creates a pretty locked in feel. So until I really kind of tried to pay attention to how the shoe fit, I almost felt like it fit pretty narrow because it is really good lockdown overall throughout the shoe. The tongue also does add a little bit of pressure there, not pressure, but like lockdown, I should say. So when you cinch the laces down, you can get a really nice snug fit despite being a little bit more accommodating than a lot of other shoes. Now the upper as a whole, I wouldn't say is the most breathable out there, but it's got some okay breathability for the most part. The upper here in the kind of the toe box area, as well as kind of that midfoot area, it's fairly lightweight, and so you're not going to get a whole lot of that cushion, but it is very comfortable. But I think because of the warmth in the heel and the cushioning in the heel, the shoe feels a little bit warmer than it maybe should given the materials that are being used. The thicker tongue, I do also think, adds to that overall. So it's a very comfortable ride, but it's not going to be the most breathable shoe out there. It's also not going to overheat on your foot by any means. Now moving to the midsole, you have the Hover Plus midsole, and this one in particular is kind of a dual density or dual layering midsole tooling. So on the top layer you have, I believe it's a TPU, yeah, it's a top layer TPU, so that kind of darker gray foam there, that's a TPU right there. And then this bottom layer right here is an EVA based foam from what I understand, which is going to be a little bit firmer. Now the TPU is tuned in a way that is a little bit softer, a little bit more responsive, and so you do get a little bit of that bounce with the shoe. And then that firmer foam underneath gives the shoe a lot of structure. And this is not a stability shoe, to be clear, but I do think it would work for a lot of people with actual stability needs for a couple of reasons. One being, you have kind of this heel clip that is like a plastic material right there, and then a really nice heel counter overall. So this shoe kind of stays very structured. It's almost like the Brooks GTS like guide rail system. And so you kind of get a little bit of light support there. And then that firmer foam underfoot doesn't really compress. Like, it's not a soft and squishy EVA. It's a soft and supportive EVA, something more similar to like the New Balance 880 or the like the Asics Gel Nimbus or the Asics Gel Cumulus. So it's going to be soft yet supportive, not soft and squishy and springy. That's where that TPU top layer comes in, though, is it's going to give you a little bit of responsiveness, a little bit of bounce. But for the most part, with this midsole, I found that it's very much more of like a, again, really stable option. It's really more of like an easy day shoe or like recovery day shoe. You can get some standard miles in it, but you're not getting a ton of responsiveness out of this shoe for the most part. I think it's pretty one note. It's not the most pace versatile out there, but I do think it's going to be really, really supportive as a whole and hold up really, really well. Moving to the outsole, you have an Under Armour durable outsole with some really, really good covers there overall. And what I found was that this traction, I think it's similar to what was on the Infinite Mega, which was the Under Armour Speedland collab, if not kind of the same overall compound. I find that it does a good job. It doesn't blow me away by any means, but the fact that you have good coverage overall, plus a somewhat thicker overall outsole, means that you're gonna get some increased durability in that midsole foam as well. Personally, I think for a standard daily trainer, I would like maybe a little bit lighter of a shoe, so I wonder if they could have gone with a slightly thinner overall rubber coverage, which would give additional kind of weight savings, potentially saving some weight as well in the upper with a little bit less cushion with the standard daily trainer. But standard daily trainers are really kind of a difficult category, because if you put too much in the foam, then they become max cushion. If you go too responsive or too lightweight, then you're looking, is this more of a lightweight trainer? So as far as like standard daily trainers go, I feel like they did the job and they kind of checked the boxes of what a standard daily trainer is and needs to be good, but not necessarily great across a variety of different types of runs. Like, I will say that between the outsole and the midsole, there is more than enough support here to go long. Probably not enough responsiveness for me, though, to really take it out on any type of workouts past maybe the occasional strides at the end of an easy run. Now, as far as who's this shoe for, I think that this is the kind of shoe, like if you're someone who likes the Gel Nimbus, or if you're someone who likes a slightly firmer foam like the 880, like I said, someone who wants stability but not necessarily a stability shoe, that's the type of runner that I think is really, really going to enjoy this. The other thing is, if you want a really good shoe at a budget price, $130 is really, really good. In fact, it's great in today's running economy. So I do think that, you know, if you're looking for a shoe that gives you some great technology, is comfortable, is supportive, is soft, is stable, and you can go run daily miles in it, and you're not doing a ton of speed work, like something that can just kind of check your boxes, be a durable option, it's going to last, really good bang for your buck. I think that's where this shoe is really, really going to shine for the most part. Now, personally, I don't like 8mm drop for kind of daily standing around or jobs where you're on your feet a whole lot. I like a slightly lower drop, something from like the 4 to 6 range, but this is the type of shoe that's going to give you the support throughout the day that you need, where it's not overly squishy like you're standing on a foam pad all day, but it's soft enough that you do get that support underfoot. So this could be another option as well for people who are on their feet for long periods of time. But for the most part, it is very much a running shoe that is going to be just a nice budget and friendly overall option for runners out there. So just some final thoughts. Under Armour Infinite Pro, I think that Under Armour now has a legitimate performance daily trainer, where in the past it didn't seem like they really had that nailed down. So it's nice to see Under Armour kind of stepping up their game and coming to the table with some versatile options, right? I got my first run in the Infinite Elite today, which is essentially like the premium daily trainer from Under Armour, or maybe not premium, but you know, you have like a full-length TPU midsole as opposed to kind of that dual density midsole, so you're going to get a little bit more bounce. Maybe it's more catered towards your long runs, things along those lines. So I'll be doing a review for that one in a few weeks once I get the miles on it, and I'll probably do a comparison between the two as well. But it's nice to see Under Armour coming out with some cool daily training options, not just for us, but for their professional athletes as well, because they have some pretty good athletes on their roster. So if you stuck around this far, I sure appreciate you. Please take a sec. Leave a comment, let me know what you enjoyed, or let me know what questions you have about the Infinite Pro 2 from Under Armour. And if you have any suggestions on what I could be doing to make these videos more entertaining, more educational, just more fun for each and every one of you, would love to hear that as well. And if you watched this far and you haven't yet hit that subscribe button, again, please consider doing so. I appreciate all the support that you guys have given me on this channel. It's been really cool for me to see people tuning in and people returning to watch my reviews. I really do put a lot of time and effort into these, so it means a lot to me. So again, turn on notifications if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I would love to see you back for more of my reviews. And as always, we'll finish out with a question, which is, what is your favorite Under Armour running shoe that you've tried so far? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks everybody.